There you go. You know who that is on the profile. Let's
You already
go.
know. You already know.
All right, yo, we live.
Hello.
¿Cómo
All right, and
estás?
yeah, let's go with the mic check. Check.
Check.
Check in. Hello.
Hello. This is a test.
All right, bet. Okay. All right, yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of Nest Talk. All right, I gotta repeat. All right, yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of Nest Talk. This is your host, Theslykrow. And this is the show where we talk about some of the big gaming headlines and what's trending in the gaming media. And we also do go off topic every now and then. And so I'm here with my man, Agent Deli.
Hello. Thanks for having me back again.
All right, definitely appreciate it. And I'm also here with my guy, Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, what's happening, people? Thank you for inviting me back to this podcast, Krow.
All right, no worries. I definitely appreciate it. And I'm here with a good friend of mine. He's back again on the pod, and we have Winder the Maze.
Always snacking. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, okay. Yeah, so the title of this episode is "Gimme That," and the reason I chose that title is because the biggest news of the week is that we do have a popular hot tub streamer that got triggered after Twitch pulled their ads from her stream. And so we'll be talking about that much later on in the show. And so to start off, before we get into these topics, I actually did wanted to get into some Resident Evil 8 spoiler talk. And actually, Window, did you finish Resident Evil 8 yet?
I haven't even started it, actually.
Oh, okay.
I decided, you know what? I'm going way back. I started at 5, been working my way up. I'm about 3/4 through 7 right now.
Nice.
Even though they're not 100% related. Just because.
Oh, okay. So do you mind like spoilers or like so you want to experience it yourself?
Go for it.
Okay.
My memory is horrible. I'm not going to remember this when I play anyhow. Go for it.
I'm like that.
All right, okay. Yeah, so Deli did mention in the last episode that there was a section where it kind of felt like it was kind of like a psychological horror element in one of the sections. And bro, when I went into the house, like that gave me anxiety right there. Like that's not a psychological horror right there. That was like some paranormal activity shit right there. It's crazy.
It was cool. I was a big fan of Chapter 2.
Yeah. And like to me, like that felt like Outlast meets Paranormal Activity. It meets Saw in a way. How they had it set up. And like there was some moments when I was at the house where like I had so much anxiety I had to like pause the game, and like I was contemplating if I wanted to continue the game at that point because they were just so nerve-wracking. And actually what happened was I ended up singing an old classic Drake song. Do you guys remember like there was a Drake feature called it was like I get money, I get paper. Like, remember that song?
Was it T-Pain?
Nah.
Ah,
Yeah, so I was basically
man,
what's up?
I haven't heard about T-Pain in a while.
Yeah, T-Pain's great though.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so I was basically like just humming that tune when I was in the house, and that got me through that part, So it was just really nerve-wracking, especially when the baby showed up and you had to hide under the bed. Like that was some crazy shit right there.
Or you can do the
Yeah.
closet.
I actually saw a guy play the whole game on stream. I legit watched it. And I kid you not, as a viewer itself, I was just like kind of nerve-wracked a little bit. But at the same time, I was there like glad I'm not fucking playing this. Afterwards, I swear I would have, if you had to hide in a closet, bro, I would have been hiding inside my fridge. They're like, ain't nobody touching me here.
Inside my fridge. Get me out.
And yeah, the last part of the game, it is kind of similar to Call of Duty in a way, but like to be honest, I really did enjoy the last part. Like like it really upped the ante, and it felt like you were John Wick shooting all the zombies. So I really did enjoy that, and especially when you had to fight against that big ogre guy, like with the hammer. Yeah, that was really really intense, and it's pretty fun to play, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just your classic Resident Evil weirdness. So, I mean, I'm cool with it, but I just really just felt like it was disjointed from the rest of the game. It's like they had one idea for Resident Evil, and then halfway through the game, they were like, "Ah, wait, we've kind of forgot the core element of Resident Evil," and they brought it back to its roots in that cheesy Japanese
They did number
action.
7 though. Like number 7 was a horror film for the first 3 quarters,
Mhm.
and then at the end is like, oh, there goes Umbrella. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's Resident Evil. I mean, if you're a fan, then it'll definitely be right up your alley. But as a consumer, I was expecting them to do more, and I
A bit
was
more.
yeah. I guess my expectation was set pretty
For
high.
sure.
So
Mm,
I can see that. I can see that, especially when you wait for so long and then afterwards spend a lot of money on it, and it's like,
yeah.
what
I mean,
happened here?
it took me about 4 hours to get through chapter 1. So I was like, "Yo, this game is gonna be awesome," and then it took me probably like 45 minutes to an hour a piece to get through the subsequent sections, and it put me at about
Nice.
7.5 hours. Yeah, so I finished the castle in 4 hours and like 22 minutes or something like that, 4 hour 18 minutes, and then my total game time was 7.5 hours. So you can imagine that the next 3 hours for the next 3 sections was it flew by pretty quickly.
Yeah,
okay.
I can see that.
All right. Yeah.
Because like when
Long while.
I was watching that stream, I actually felt like I watched like a 9 hour. It took him 9 hours or something like that to finish it, because he was just exploring stuff that it was unnecessary, and he was just doing like talking most of the time as well. So when he was playing it, yeah, I watched it for 9 hours. I can't believe I wasted my 9 hours, but yeah, I watched it for 9 hours.
That's dedication.
You know,
kudos to you for being a 9-hour
for
viewer.
real.
Holy
Wow.
No, the thing was like, I
so
was
you're
just
saying he streamed for the whole 9 hours, like straight up, like
yeah. He straight up stream for a whole. Well, actually, he was doing a 12-hour stream, and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna play Resident Evil." And he was actually kind of upset with himself because he finished the game in 9 hours, and he thought, like, after the 12 hours, he can do part 2 for the next 12 hours. And he was there like, "Bro, don't tell me this game is finished." Like, what? Yeah, it's done. It's done. That was it. And then afterwards, he ended up playing what was it? Smash Legends at the end, because he was just like, I don't know what else to do. All my money is gone.
yeah, I still
Yeah,
stand by the fact that it is well worth the money. It's a very good quality Capcom game. And I am at 8 hours at the moment. I'm still fighting the ogre boss, like that big bearded dude. So yeah, I'm still trying to get past him.
So you chose the easiest setting, right? Are you going for the story mode?
Yeah, I'm going with the casual, like there's a casual and
All
hardcore.
right.
Yeah.
No, straight
Oh,
up,
you
I would
did,
go
Deli?
easy. I'd go easy. Straight up easy. I'm not gonna
I
lie
was
to
about to
you.
say Deli said he like breezed through a bunch of it. I was like, I low key feel like Deli
Yeah,
went
no,
hard.
I
And
play
then
all my games on the easiest mode. I don't care.
I mean, I feel that because sometimes, like low key, you play it on a difficulty that's too hard. I don't want to sit here and be like 4 hours on one chapter. You feel me?
Yeah.
I want to get the experience of the game, get it out of the way. If I want to do it later at a hard difficulty, I'll do that.
Well, my biggest
I
thing
get
is
it.
that a lot of games don't actually have like real difficulty, right? Like they're not crafted from the bottom up to actually be difficult. A lot of games are much like Destiny and The Division, where the harder the difficulty, it's just you get less ammo, they take more bullets, and they do more damage. And that kind of artificial difficulty is really what takes me out of the game. Or like, you get more enemies, or you get like heavies instead of lights. You know, Resident Evil is kind of like that too. You get less ammo. You know, it takes
Harder to find.
harder to find. It takes like almost triple the amount of damage to kill somebody. I mean, their animations and movements are just sped up, like in between their cycles. So like on easy mode, like the Lycans will dodge and like crawl around. Those guys will do that on a cycle of like 12 to 15 seconds, right? But on like Village of Shadows, so on Voss setting, their animation cycle goes down to about 4 seconds. So they'll dodge, and it makes it seem like they're a lot more active or whatever, but in reality they're just you know, on a shorter cycle.
Okay.
And like I said, everybody else does more damage and stuff, and you have less bullets. So to me, I just didn't really want to deal with all that. Also, I am just hot dog water at puzzles. So I'm like, I just play on the easiest mode. I enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna lie, and I did start New Game Plus. So it's not that I am.
It's not like you just took the easy route. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's not like I'm just gonna just play the game once, you know. But I do recognize when games aren't built with actual difficulties in mind. So games like Demon Souls and you know, and like From Software games, like that stuff I respect because they're much more akin to like fighting games. So to me, like I will actively seek out those experiences because I know that they're fine-tuned and crafted. And that doesn't aggravate me. But when I play a game like Destiny and I play a raid on hard mode, and it basically is just a time filler because you know, this 1 hour raid has suddenly become 2.5 hours because they're just soaking up
They just
all the
change
damage.
values.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so actually,
Oh,
Deli,
yeah.
let me ask you this. So you know, in the hardest setting, like, did you have to like, were you like ammo constrained, or did you feel like you had to kill every zombie, or like, did you just use the hidden one tactic? Like, how did you like play the game?
in Voss, I definitely pick and choose my battles. I mean, it did kind of help that I mean, there are more enemies, but it did help that I was already familiar with the areas that I needed to be. So I actually ended up finishing the castle in an hour, just over an hour. It was like an hour and 5 minutes.
Yes,
So
because
I was able to
you
just
knew
get in
like
and get
where
out.
to go and everything. Like you weren't backtracking.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely feel that. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna be moving on to our first topic here, which is Biomutant impressions. And you know, I did pick this game up because you know I'm just a sucker for anything that's post-apocalyptic or sci-fi. And you know, I really did like the announcement trailer that they shown, and you know, things like that. And also with their unique combat system, I was very, you know, interested in that as well. And so we do have some interesting information about this company. So they are Experiment 101. And I did hear that they are like a relatively small company. They do have about 20 developers. And, you know, they are a Swedish game development, like a Swedish game development company. And also some of the members are former they're former devs from Avalanche Studios. So they're the ones who made Mad Max and the Just Cause series. And so we do have some details of the game. So it is an open world post-apocalyptic Kung Fu Fable RPG. And it does have a unique combat system. So it does specialize in making sure that you have good agility. It has shooting and melee, as well as you also have powers from your mutations that you get to unlock. So like the Psi abilities. And to me, this combat, it really does remind me of, you know, Devil May Cry meets something like a little bit of Ratchet and Clank. And so I really do dig the combat. And now, you know, I do have a lot of gripes with it. Like, you know, I'm not like super in tune with the combat. Like there are some gripes I have with it. And one gripe I have is the parry system. Like the parry animation, it just feels very lackluster. And I think that's like when you compare this game to Sekiro, like there's no contest. You know, like Sekiro takes the cake when you do like a parry and it has like the epic noise and you see like the dope animation. So you know, I think the parry in this game is very lacking compared to Sekiro. And so I do agree with this review from Game Informer. You know, the Game Informer review, it does say that, you know, Biomutant is a hodgepodge of ideas stitched together to form what is ultimately a mixed bag. And the game blends elements from open world design with stylish action, gunplay, crafting. But the thing is, like many jack of all trades, it winds up being a master of none. And so I do think that, you know, in terms of the combat, some of the enemies, especially the little rodent guys, like I feel like they're like walking toy soldiers because they didn't do a good job of animating them or, you know, doing the AI for those characters. And so, you know, but I feel like the best part of the game is when you're fighting those big bosses. Like you get it. You get to fight those like they kind of remind me of like big Kung Fu Panda characters, but they're honestly well animated and it's really dope fighting against them. And so, did you guys have any questions for you know, Biomutant?
To be honest with you, no. I actually for me, I looked at the trailer and it's something that I'm actually not interested. Like that's not the kind of game that I'll be going for, if you know what I mean. I would just,
Okay.
I'll obviously enjoy watching any gameplays and stuff like that just to see if there's anything. But me personally, I won't be playing that game. So, in my opinion, like I even though I would love to know more about the game, I personally would not. It's not my kind of interest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
Tell you
you
what,
know,
man. The
sorry.
oh my bad.
Yeah. So you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you what, because I've been looking at like videos of it and stuff. Even though looking at the combat, I can definitely see what you mean, that the smaller characters just kind of seem like, oh, you know what, let's just throw something in there. It doesn't even seem like complete. Like it seems like somebody threw it like something that wasn't even alpha tested, and let's just throw it in. They're gonna be focused on the big guys. The big guys look cool, right? The overall art and like theme and like the world design and everything visually looks kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, like, even looking at the actual fighting of it, I can definitely tell that there's some sort of like lack of impact. You know what I mean? Like in certain games, when you get hit, when I hit other people, you want that sort of like the reaction, like the you know, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
this has
definitely, yeah.
more of a this has more of a old school PS2 hack and slash. Hey man, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm still gonna be able to shoot. Low key.
True.
Yeah, a lot of people did compare this to like older style games, and you know, I do think it's kind of like you guys remember the old Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like those type of games.
Yeah, I do. And
Those were low key dope.
yeah, they were dope. I was about to say, yeah, Loki, they're dope. But yeah, I mean, for a newer generation game and, you know, for consoles and everything, like exactly, I agree with Windu on this. It just feels, just by looking at the videos, it just feels kind of lackluster. It's not like it's immersive enough in a way where I'll be like heavily focused into playing this game over and over again. And that's one of the reasons why I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna be interested in this game. It just feels lackluster. That thing is missing that motivates me to play any game. And I'm the kind of guy who plays anything. And for me to say like, oh, I don't want to play this game, it's just like, okay. It's not like you can imagine, it's just not me. It's like there are plenty of people like me out there who just plays any game because they enjoy playing video games in general. But
Would you play it if somebody bought it for you with that free
I'll
is for
give it a
me?
try.
Because I'll
I
be
would
real with
try
you.
it.
If I had to pay for it, I'm like, if it's free, not gonna lie, even
Yeah, I
I
mean,
would play out the first mission at least. Let's get a
yeah,
vibe
exactly,
for it.
yeah. Exactly. Like I would try it because I'll do the homie a favor, be like, yo, thank you for buying this game. I'm not gonna wait, try and waste your money, but I'll go ahead and play the game just to see how it is. But after that, I low-key don't know what I'm going to say. You know what I mean? It's like if he says that you like the game, I'll be like, straight up, bro.
I always feel
Okay.
like I'm obligated to play the game, and it makes the game a lot less fun because I have to play it instead of wanting to play it.
Yeah,
So
I
I
feel
always
that. I can
just
see
like
that.
when people buy me stuff.
That's exactly what it was. But there was only one game that I actually I enjoyed playing, even though my buddy bought it for me, and it was Sekiro, and I just aced that through. Like it took me a while. It took me about a good 3.5 months complete that game, but I did it.
That's a long time.
I had to understand. Yo, it's a Souls game. What do you expect?
Yeah.
They had to like that
I
is the
had a lot of
only
issues
game.
with Sekiro. Like to be honest, I haven't finished any From Software game. Like I've always wanted to,
Oh, yeah.
but like I think I didn't
Alright.
have the patience. Like that's the
You
thing.
you remember playing Tenchu,
No, I
right?
haven't tried Tenchu.
Okay. If you ever tried Tenchu, Sekiro gives you that kind of a vibe, right? And I love playing Tenchu on PS2. I'm not gonna lie to you, I enjoy playing that. And not only that, this game actually teaches people how to play a Souls type of game. Do you know what I mean? It forces you
Oh,
to
okay.
learn the mechanics, and you know it's beautiful too to look at. Like the game, graphics wise, the whole environment, everything was nice. So it took. I'm not gonna lie to you, the bosses are fucking strong. Right, they're fucking solid, and that's why it took me 3.5 months, bro. But I can honestly say that I completed the game, like completed the game. I don't have to touch that game ever again.
Okay. Yeah, the other reason why I think the combat is lackluster here is that, if you I think we've been so spoiled by such good games that have come out as of late. Like you had like the Batman Arkham series, like such a dope combat system. And you also had Jedi Fallen Order. Like I really like the parry system in that game. And I feel like, they put their heart and soul in creating such good combat in their games, And when it comes to Biomutant, like I feel like it does have a unique, flair to the combat, but it doesn't have any weight to it, like compared to like an Arkham game or like a Jedi Fallen Order, and so that's why I
Well,
think.
look at it this way. Like I read a description. Apparently, it's supposed to be like an open world Fables type of game, right? So I don't know if
About
if you played
Biomutant?
Fable. Yeah, Biomutant. So it's supposed to be like an open world Fable kind of gameplay, right? So I don't know if you guys ever played Fable on the Xbox 360, the first ever Fable that came out. It low key kind of looks like that. And don't get me wrong, Fable was long, right? It was long. It was a long game, but however, this feels a little bit something like is missing for you to go. Like if you open up the game and be like, yo, let's start this game, I'm ready to complete this game, then afterwards something happens, you have to pause the game, you have to go out, do something, and come back. It's one of those games that I'll completely forget about. I wouldn't even load back up because it's just like, hey, there's
Not
something
memorable.
that's
Yeah.
there's nothing memorable in here. In Fable, there was something memorable that I could always go back in, and I wanted to complete it because there was a storyline, there were side missions, there were certain things that you had to do. You could have a life in that game itself. It's like how do you call it, development kind of a thing, where you can build houses, you can rent it, and then afterwards you can have a family and all of that kind of nonsense too that was going ahead. So in this one, I can understand they're going with the whole kung fu aesthetic, like kind of like Kung Fu Panda
Yeah, that's what
vibes
it
off of it,
reminded me of.
right?
Yeah,
Me,
it's very
yeah,
goofy.
Kung
It's
Fu
kind
Panda.
of like Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah. It's got like a Kung Fu Panda vibes meets RPG element in an open world, right? So that's all I can say. And to be honest, nothing about that game is currently piquing my interest.
Yeah, and
I
how
don't
they
even
have
know
it
what the
set
game
up,
was.
and how they have it set up is kind of like a choose your own adventure book kind of thing, where you have branching paths you can choose. So like,
Yeah, I like I'm a old school gamer, so I like a story mode set for me. I don't want to freaking choose the paths that I want to take. Like I'm not watching a movie where alternate ending can be. Like hell no. Like do you know what I mean? I'd rather have just one fucking storyline go to the end. That's the end.
You just like your
Nothing
linear
more.
games.
Exactly. That's exactly like I'm sorry, it might sound boring as shit, but I prefer linear because I know exactly what the author, like the writer, has actually, thought in his brain, and I'm more like, oh, this is what his mindset was, so this is what he was trying to portray. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so
If you
pretty
give me
much.
alternate endings, I'll be saying they're going,
Yeah, so
yeah,
this
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
this story is actually written in like kind of like a choose your own adventure book. It kind of feels like an audiobook, like you're listening to an audiobook in a sense. Like the narrator does speak a lot. And so, I really hated the narrator, to be honest. And I also watched a Conan episode. Like they had an 8-minute YouTube thing on this game. And they were like also as well, like I really hate this narrator. Like, can you make him stop? And so, the first thing I did actually was I changed the narrator to a Japanese language narrator. And bro, like, yo, this narrator slaps with a Japanese voice. Like, I really think he did such a good job. And it makes the game much more epic. Like, so, if you guys are
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys are if you guys are anime fans, I would definitely, if you are picking this game, you should definitely choose the Japanese voice because it sounds really dope.
like, look at it this way, like. If you're an anime fan, straight up low key will switch the audio from dub to sub immediately because you're like, hey man, dub is kind of booty. I'm not gonna lie to you, like this kind
Every
of
game is more
sounds
epic.
shit.
I don't know
You know
about,
what I mean?
all dubs, but
Yeah, I don't know
Not
about
all,
all,
not
but I'll
all
be real with
dub.
you.
I'm
On
just saying,
Dragon Ball Z, I did change that shit. I'm not
what?
gonna lie.
Dragon Ball is kind of hot in the dub though.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Each to their own merit and everything, but most of the animes, like if you put it across like animes kind of thing, and you put games and all of this kind of thing in one genre,
Average.
in average, dubs are low-key dookie, right? So it's like, hey, immediately. There's only two people, I think, who I would listen to as a narrator, right? It's the guy who does Planet Earth, David Attenborough, right?
Yeah,
He's got
yeah,
And then Morgan
yeah.
Freeman.
And Morgan actually three then fuck you. Morgan Freeman and the movie trailer guy, right? The movie trailer
guy.
He says, "You know that guy in today's world." Like,
Exactly, bro. Seriously, if those three guys just had to do it, I would low-key be fully focused on it. Not gonna lie to you. But yeah.
I don't know, man.
Okay, and
I don't
so
think that narration is enough to carry a game, to be honest.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like, because here's the thing: an engaging story is awesome, right? But part of what actually brings a story to life isn't just the audio; it's the visual as well, right? Like, it can be everything from a camera angle difference
Yeah.
to a filter in the voice, right? Let's say he's talking on the phone, one voice has a filter, the other one doesn't, right? Just little things like that. And if you have a narrator constantly talking in your ear, it almost takes away from it because you don't get to experience the story and make your own assessment.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
point, yeah.
whenever you have somebody talking too much in your ear, is like, as he walked through the door, he found, and it's like, all right, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Just let me find the damn doll in the middle of the room. Like, you don't gotta tell me that I'm looking for the doll. So it's
legit. This
it can
game is
be
like that, bro.
disconnected.
Like there's so much talking.
hell no.
And have you guys played the games, the Stanley Parable?
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, this is
Nah.
the same kind of narrative style as that. Like, and I think it's kind of the same voice actor. I think I'm not too sure. It's like he's a British guy.
Mhm.
So I think maybe the voice actor from that carried over to this game.
I mean, it's
Well,
possible.
at least the Stanley Parable is like really, really funny. Is Biomutant? Does it have the humor?
Or an epic story at least. Like something like 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 a good contrast story wise that I think nobody would disagree with is a game like God of War.
Oh
Might not
yeah.
have the best mechanics. Might it had a couple cool things in it. Might not be the most visually appealing, but as far as story went, even as just that simple fight in the beginning, like
Mhm.
they really knew how to captivate the audience, whether it was with, again, camera changes. You go from looking third person the whole time out of nowhere, now the camera's on the side while he talk while like Atreus is
That that
talking, while Kratos is talking.
that transition scene was one of low-key best ones I have seen in a video game, right? Oh my god. Especially
Well,
the first fight scene. Like it
but you
just
could tell that
went
a
from
movie
this.
director at some point had influence. You get me?
Oh yeah,
You
true.
can definitely tell in a lot of games that sometimes, even though the people behind like game directors and stuff might be good, a game director does not have the same vision that a movie director might. You get me? You can definitely tell that God of War, for example, came across more like a movie in certain events.
Yeah, yeah.
Like implementing little tactics like, hey, whenever he's talking down to Atreus, the camera now is actually below his line of sight. So even we are looking up at Kratos. Or whenever he's feeling inferior, now the camera's actually looking down on him. Just little techniques that got thrown in there. You get me? And if this game has like so much narration, it's not too engaging. Like, I'll be real with you, I'll just go play The Last of Us.
Yeah, I mean, from my opinion, it looks very Little Big Planet. It seems to be like the
I
narration
can see that.
style goes for something along the lines of like, you're dropped in this world. Obviously, I guess they're biomutants. I don't know what they're called. The rodents are much smaller in the game world. So it does seem like it's going for this like nature documentary, like, you're just a visitor in this world kind of vibe.
Low-key,
Basically a
Mhm.
playable isekai, but I'm
low-key
not entirely sure if that's something that I think that's an acquired taste.
Yeah, it is. It is very a very unique game that it would get picked up by a few individuals, and they'll have like their own little fan base on it. Do you know what I mean? So that's all I can say. It's a very niche game in its own market.
Yeah. The story, it's it is kind of mid, to be honest. Like I'm not really feeling it, but I maybe it does get maybe it does get a lot better later on. And so moving on here, so there has been a controversy here where when the developers did release the game, apparently they were the last gen versions, and so the game will be 1080p on PS5 and 4K on native Xbox Series X. And so this actually sparked a controversy on Twitter, whereby Xbox fanboys say their box is superior to the PS5. And so actually the THQ Nordic Twitter account, they did respond to their replies, and they've been really transparent and not taking part at all in the console wars. So how do you guys feel about THQ Nordic reassuring that hey, the next gen version is being worked on, and you don't have to start a console war over this minor thing?
Munich is a game dev, right?
THQ Nordic.
THQ Nordic is the publisher of this game.
Or the publisher. So I mean, I'll
Yeah,
be real with you, bro. Asking a publisher to get into a console war argument, that's kind of, you feel me? It's like, yeah, how do you feel about PlayStation versus Xbox? Like, bitch, we're still gonna sell to both. What do you mean? I don't understand why somebody would even try. Like, here's a jab. Only an Xbox player is gonna try and get a response out of a publisher. Like,
I mean, when it comes to the whole PlayStation versus Xbox, is like
each his own.
Yeah.
to each
Quite
other.
frankly.
And it's like I don't really give a shit as long as if I own one of these two consoles and if I can get to play the game, do I give a shit? No. Do I give a shit? Like, bro, it's just stupid. Like, what they fail to understand is, like, I know Deli when we were having a discussion, right?
Yeah.
Working within that industry and also like me being a tech geek and everyone being a tech geek over here, architecture comes into this play, right? The whole individual hardware, what it's capable of doing. You need to tweak certain things. You need to be able to have that engine running things smoothly. You don't want to sell out a game like fucking Cyberpunk out there and just getting a lot of shit. And it's like, hey man, give those people a chance to actually develop a game for that particular console. You know, even if Xbox has got a 4K native, whatever it is, and PlayStation's only got 1080p, I'm pretty sure they're going to be working on some kind of a patch or some kind of an update that's going to have that 4K native resolution for PS5 eventually at one point. Starting a console war, it doesn't mean shit. Like, you can sit there and compare both of those consoles to a lot of things, and you can bring the PC into this thing, and you can start a whole different war on its own. So, you know, it's like, what is the point? Like, doesn't matter. Both are equally in their own merits, right? Just like PC's got its own merits, you can push the performance to a certain thing. The only difference is they're, like, you know, compact and made to be played on a TV, right? That's the only difference. And sooner or later, if the game developer wants to make more money, they will eventually create the update, you know, for the game so that it can run on 4K. So people don't have to be sitting there throwing salt at each other like, yo, Xbox is better, PS5 is better, Xbox is better, PS5 is better, because it just sounds like an immature playground, school ground freaking fight that never going to end. And then afterwards, your parents have to get involved, and you say like, you know what, both of you are timed out. Yeah, shut the fuck up and sit in that corner, and it'll start the timer for the next 4 minutes. Let's see if you can shut up till then. You know what I mean?
Well, I always make sure to, make the comparison to like a sports team, right? Like these guys are actual fanatics. They're radically just in the brand, I have my personal biases towards the PlayStation. I love my PlayStation, but that doesn't mean that I don't have Xbox games. I have actually more Xbox games than I have PlayStation 3 games. The 360, I have like 90 360 games on disc. And
Low
I
key,
have
like
78 on PlayStation 3. But I mean, at the end of the day, I like PlayStation a whole lot, but I just never understood why you have to like vehemently defend your team as if your
life
rallying
depends on
customer. Yeah, like I'm like the more I defend Xbox, like these guys are gonna convert because I harass somebody on the internet.
I kid you not, this whole console wars is kind of like Jehovah's Witness knocking on your door trying to convert you. Right? Like over here, I kid you not, right? Jehovah's Witnesses come over here and No. This is what I'm like when you're trying to convert it, right? So you can't, regardless of what it is, if you're trying to push an agenda that Xbox is better or PlayStation is better, it's not gonna work regardless, because everyone's gonna be sitting there going, "Hey man, you got a PlayStation 5, shut the fuck up," right? I'm still trying to get hold of one, right? And then afterwards, you got an Xbox, good luck. I'm still trying to get hold of one. I still got my shitty old PS3, PS4 waiting to be upgraded. So meanwhile, I'm using my PC, which is PC is superior. That's what another clan will start saying.
But is your PC superior?
Oh, yeah.
Not
as superior as yours.
Like, a $4.99 machine that works as a Blu-ray player, unbeatable.
Hmm?
It's unbeatable,
That's
dude.
that's
That's
so true, bro. Like
That's
for $4.99, there's only so much you can get.
Yeah.
If you're willing to spend like over 1,000, 2,000, that's another conversation. But at that point, they're not even in the same league, to be honest.
Yeah. Like my machine is like $5,000. It's
my
you know
machine.
like 10 times
My
the
machine
price
is
of my PlayStation
Right.
5. And I've
yeah,
gotten
So I
over
hope it's better.
yeah. It is, but at the same time, like I don't really play games on my PC anymore. I'm a frame rate over resolution kind of guy. So I don't care.
Yay!
Yeah, my 3090 will be underutilized at
My man's
you know.
flexing with his 3090s, you know. Yeah, I'm still got a 2070, bro.
Hey man,
Wait,
that's
didn't you
Still- still
just say
pretty
you're a
decent
frame rate
card.
over resolution?
yeah, I'm a frame rate
2070?
over resolution, so I will play on like the lowest quality. Like every
I
game,
mean, I don't
I'll
think
play
you
on the
need to
lowest quality.
with a 3090. You feel me?
I know I don't need to, but I still do.
Like you could be
kind of
ultra settings, 3090, 300 frames. How chill.
It's kind of a crappy habit.
I can imagine if you're
It's
used to it. Yeah,
Yeah, I just do it. Just play on all low settings.
I'll play
All right.
Tetris on ultra settings, bro.
Yo, it's Tetris. I was, shockingly enough, I was actually watching Tetris. Tetris is up its own level, bro.
Yo, the
I'm not
Tetris
gonna lie to you.
Battle Royale thing is kind of hot.
And not, have you ever guys
That's
tried
mind-blowing.
Tetris Effect? Have you ever tried guys playing Tetris Effect? Bro,
No,
that
Oh,
shit
yeah,
is
haven't tried that.
Nah,
holy-
y'all need to peep that Tetris Battle Royale. It's
Yeah,
hot.
man.
Oh,
It's hot.
yeah.
Seriously, bro. Tetris
Yeah, it's
is
not a
up its
joke.
ante, bro. Tetris has upped its ante. And I give respect to that because that is one of the old games and that's just improving and improving, right? They didn't have to do anything for decades.
They literally
then
don't have
bam.
to do anything to Tetris, but they just
Exactly.
managed to reinvent the wheel every single time, and it's wonderful, and it's
It is,
quite
it
good
is
too.
great. So simple, basic, and awesome. That's what you
Yep,
need in a game.
Yep. That's all you need.
Take my money.
Yo, I even paid. I think it was on PlayStation, right? When I had the PSVR, I bought
Mhm.
Tetris Effect
Yeah.
for something around like $20. Worth it. Worth it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I've
Worth-
always said that like if I could have one game to their till the end of my life, Tetris would be it.
I just saw Tetris Effect. Never heard of it, but yo,
It's
Tetris
hot.
looks popping.
Yeah, it's hot.
Yo, there was actually one achievement on there called getting a Dexa Headstrix or something like that.
Yeah.
That's like clearing 10 lines, bro. You know, in a normal Tetris, you can only clear 4 lines.
Mhm.
That's the highest level of number. But in this one, it can allow you to go all the way to 10 and above, right? You can clear the line. Like, that shit is intriguing as shit.
Interesting.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so back to this topic here. So, it looks like, the Xbox fanboys did, spark a war here, and the only reason is that, with this statement, it made it seem that, Biomutant was only catered towards the Xbox people, because it made it seem like the narrative was that the Xbox Series X is more powerful than the PS5, when that's really not the case. And I think it's because since Xbox fanboys, or Xbots, how they call them, is that they don't get too many W's, and when they do finally get one, they're like, yeah, let me assert my dominance. Y'all may got your fancy Dubai Tower over there. But we can power our dreams with 12 teraflops of performance, son. And it's like, bro, what are you guys doing over there? It's really ridiculous how how they're handling the situation. Like, I feel like they feel like they have to assert their dominance, because let's be real, like all their games are coming out much later on. Like it's gonna be about like maybe 2023 or 2024, And so I feel like as soon as they find something that's, beneficial towards them, they feel like they have to like be superior to the PS5 folk. When in reality, like I do think PS5 is obviously the better console right now. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's asserted its dominance, brother.
To be fair, the Xbox is like the most wonderful Game Pass console I've ever had.
Oh,
Or
I was
at
about
least
to
I've
say,
ever seen.
I would own an Xbox, and I used to until the Game Pass on PC became a thing. I was like, now I don't need an Xbox to play Gears,
Xbox.
Sea of Thieves, Horizon. I got it all on my PC. They
I
literally
got it on
just
my phone.
cut me off.
Yeah.
I got it on my phone.
I'd get
I pay
a 1S though. I feel like a 1S would be more up my alley.
Really?
Just to play the
You still get
handful
the
of
games.
games. Just to play the handful of games. To me, I still like having a console. Obviously I work on my computer. Like this is my development computer, so I guess I'm a little jaded by the fact that like you spend all day on a computer.
You
Like
like the change of scenery,
working
yeah.
on games, so I'd rather have like a console where I'd sit back and able to actually like decompress. Where like if you like
Sitting on a couch and gaming is a luxury.
yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. It's unbeatable. I
It's a
can't.
luxury, bro.
It's great, bro. It's great.
Yeah, it
I
is.
keep
It
a
is
couch in
true.
the same room where my computer's at, just so when I'm like, you know what, forget this, I will walk 3 feet and just lounge back with a controller and be like,
True.
nobody's bothering me right now. I'm chilling.
Yeah. Like when you're sitting upright in a chair, staring at a screen all day, and then you like go to do that to play a video game, it just doesn't feel. It just feels to me. It feels more like work. So I've always had the mission statement on my computer that like if I wanted to play a game, like I have nothing on auto start. Like I have nothing on boot up. So like if I want to play a game, I have to physically boot up something like Steam or whatever and go through that long ass.
Same
Like
thing. Same thing. For
I
me.
just absolutely hated
Like
waiting for all that stuff.
I disabled so many of the clients on startup, so it's just like, if I want to play a game, I would low-key open that client and then double click it.
Yeah,
Just
I have
when
to go
there's
out
an
of the way.
update, there's an update. If there's an update, there's an update. Fuck it.
And that kind of deters me from slacking off while I'm working. So,
True.
Okay.
True. It actually gives you.
Yeah, all right. So moving on here. So we will be talking about. So we do have some new announcements for the game showcases, and so we do have an announcement that Horizon Forbidden West will be having a state of play this Thursday, and so I did actually watch the Horizon Forbidden West announcement trailer once again, and it looked pretty fantastic, and I'm excited to see what they're going to show in this 15-minute gameplay reveal. And so we do know that from the trailer, Alloy can now explore the ocean, and so there are some robot enemies like robot dinosaurs swimming the ocean as well. And so did you guys have any expectations of what do you want to see in this 15-minute gameplay reveal?
So,
new mechanics. I think new mechanics, new environments. Honestly, I'm kind of just here for whatever Guerrilla Games wants to give us. I was a fan of the original, and I think that they did wonderful with it. I don't know. I'm ready to be surprised. My expectations are very low at this point. I'm just happy to be getting a sequel.
Considering that you're actually getting a sequel, like I agree that
like a
my
proper one,
Yeah.
a proper one.
And my expectations are kind of low, knowing the freaking trend that the whole gaming industry is going, just releasing a game and then afterwards going low-key crap. I mean, the whole entire stage that's going through at the minute. I was actually excited. When the first State of Play got released and they actually did an announcement for the trailer, for a Horizon. I was excited, right? I loved the whole trailer that was going on, the whole entire scenario base and everything. It looked much more, how do you call it? The effects, right? The bloom effects look nicer, right? And I'm expecting something that they can throw me off, like not expecting the same thing, like just thinking outside of the box and put me in that kind of a setting so that I can look forward to playing this game every time, because the first one was fucking amazing. Like, I enjoyed playing that game, completed that
Good story.
game. Which one?
I know. I was saying it was a good story.
It was a good story, and also not only that, the gameplay as well felt pretty good, right? So I was finding new things that I could do and explore and just try and figure out certain things and everything like that. So it was like, and Loki, I was just enjoying just running around the whole entire area for no goddamn reason and just coming across something new. And sequel, looking at it, hopefully they don't go down in the same path as the other developers where they build this hype up and then afterwards deliver something bad. I'm just hoping that it remains in that kind of a steady pace where it's like, listen, we have done this sequel. You are going to be expecting this. We are going to run through rigorous testing before we release it so that you don't get any kind of a issue, and don't feel like you wasted your money, right? So I'm excited. I'm really excited for Horizon, and hopefully they can deliver something that meets everyone's, well, at least 90% of the gaming community out there who's waiting for this game to come out, deliver to them and cater to them in a specific way. And yeah, man, I'm just excited. I'm really excited for it.
I think that my number 1 and number 2 for Forbidden West, I think my number 1 would be updated climbing mechanics. I do think that whole, press X to climb, like hop, hop, hop thing is a little. I feel like it's a little outdated.
Now.
I'm not even gonna
It is
lie.
overused. It's overused in quite a lot of games too.
I mean, I'm cool with it. It's very Tomb Raider-esque.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. It's not broken, so don't fix it. But at the same time, I'm hoping that maybe in the sequel that they're able to level that up, just the climbing mechanics, because that does. If you spend a lot of time doing that in the game, then I want it to be just as wonderful as it can be. And number 2, I'm hoping Aloy's polygon count goes up. I think that like, skin textures and better animations. I just want. I don't need her to be like super realistic, but I do want it to be like a clear quality of life update. From the first one to the second one. I don't know if it's going to be cross generation or if this is going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But those would be my number 1 and number 2 for expectations wise. I don't really have a third one. I get, cool environments or something like that, but I guess would be just new mechanics, maybe a grappling hook. I don't know. People love. I do.
True.
Yeah.
Grappling hooks.
Probably roll with you.
Yeah, speaking
I'm
of
just
grappling
worried about
hook,
Guerrilla Games.
so speaking
Sorry.
sorry, what was that window?
Oh no, I was just saying I'm just worried about Guerrilla Games. Like I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised with Zero Dawn, right? But with the Killzone series, I slowly just kind of saw them.
You weren't a fan?
Missing. No, I loved Killzone. I even had Killzone like on release with the PS4, right?
Yeah. I do. Yeah, I did as well.
But
Which, to be fair, Shadowfall felt more like a glorified tech demo than an actual fleshed out game. And that probably is due to like deadlines and stuff.
Maybe. I mean, more than likely. But like I saw how Killzone kind of missed this mark and never really, came back from it, right? And then so when Horizon Zero Dawn came around, I was like, okay, let's give it a try. You know, if this shit ends up like Killzone, I'm gonna be a little bit salty, right? It wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised. It was entertaining. It was probably one of the first times I could truly enjoy like HDR in a game. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Oh, I was thoroughly pleasantly surprised. But when I see a sequel, I'll be real with you. It's very unlikely that a game sequel surpasses the original unless they just knock that shit out of the park.
I
You
don't
feel me?
know. I would say Guerrilla Games has a really good track record. I mean, they from Killzone 1 to Killzone 2. Killzone 2 is I put a lot of hours in that game just because it was absolutely wonderful. And then Killzone 3, I have very fond memories of that game. That game is gorgeous. The game is very, very cool. There's a lot of good design aspects in that game. Like the grenade, when you hold the grenade, it's got a light up bar, that tells you when it's
Okay.
going to explode. And I think that like subtle things like that where they really impact the industry, small things like that, a lot of people just overlook. I do think that Guerrilla Games has a really, really good
Revolutionary
track
stuff.
record. Yeah. Just in general, when it comes to sequels, making the current formula even better. As we saw from the original Killzone, which I guess you can criticize that it was on the PlayStation 2 versus PlayStation 3, but the jump between
Well,
2 and 3 was a massive quality jump on the same system, on the same ecosystem. So I think that
so I would say
I have
yes to
I have faith
counter.
in Guerrilla Games.
Yeah, I would say yes to counter, but arguably one could also say that from 2000 to 2010 or even 2011 for Killzone 3, right? There was a lot of forward progression, a lot of new revolutionary things coming up. Like you said, little things that somebody might have missed, like a little LED counter and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You get me? But in today, like reaching more towards Shadowfall, right? And further, like by that point, they're like in the early 2010s and up, so much stuff has been brought to light and so much has become a standard, kind of like the X to jump thing that you talked about. There's so much that's
Yeah.
become a standard. Are they really going to be able to still shine and bring us something new? Or is it going to be a more polished version of Zero Dawn?
Which either way I'm happy with, but I do think that Guerrilla
Regardless.
Games will innovate. I do think that they will innovate because I also do believe that with the PlayStation 5, if it is a sequel, or it is not a sequel, an exclusive to the PlayStation 5, the design language and the design pipeline for video games has changed. Basically, we have to scrap everything we know and build it from the bottom up. When it comes to the new systems, because the SSD is just revolutionary. Like, just think about like designing something where you don't have to design a hallway, you don't have to design sections of time where your character slows down, or you don't have to design like that elevator sequence. Like we've all played a video
The
game where
loading in between, right? It's like,
you don't have that. Where like something like God of War, where like or obviously the 2018 version, but God of War, you're exploring and then you hop over a boulder, and then that's the loading sequence. It's like no longer are we constrained by conventional game design that we've been locked into for almost 2 decades now. Actually, yeah, 2 whole decades, because we're still in the old game design pipeline. Even in the new games that are coming out, like whatever the new Battlefield will be. I'm sure Ratchet and Clank will have something like that. But from the gameplay that they showed us, it's like their design pipeline has also changed. We're able to hop through worlds instantaneously, and they're able to bring to life different things that they haven't before. Miles Morales was a very good example of this. Spider-Man now moves much faster than he did previously. And it's small things like that that us game developers have to just be like, oh wow, like we can do
that now.
all of this stuff now. So it is. I'm very interested to see if this is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, how much they can push it in the early years of a new ecosystem and architecture, with the innovation. Because right now we're in the infancy of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox,
Not like
especially
Zero
with
Dawn.
SSDs. So it's like what can they create? What blueprints can they create that are going to be replicated throughout the next decade? Or are they going to play it safe and continue to use current gen, design pipelining to make sure that it's just a more, like you said, a more polished version of Zero Dawn. So I'm very interested in what Guerrilla Games as a company and a first-party studio does for the PlayStation 5, if it is an exclusive, which I feel like it's leaning towards. So
Yeah, so actually, let me ask you this, Deli. So, if you were to rank the top three developers for PlayStation, how would you go about that? Like you have like Insomniac, you have Guerrilla Games, and you have Naughty Dog. So how would you
I mean, are
rank
you
those?
ranking as a consumer? Did you want me to rank technical ability? I mean, each studio has their own
Highlights.
they have their own style, and much like movie directors or comics or something like that, or pretty much art and everything's subjective. If we were gonna rank technical ability and technical quality, I would rank Naughty Dog. Yeah, Naughty Dog, Guerrilla
Okay,
Games,
so actually,
Sucker
let me
Punch,
rephrase the
and then
question.
Insomniac.
So, what would you think is the most important publisher or developer for Sony? Like if you were to rank the top three, what would you think is like the most important in terms of like popularity?
Valuable.
Right now, if I were the head of Sony or the head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, if I were Herman Holtz, and if I had a studio on the team that like was my pocket pick for like this is it, like this is the next mascot. Honestly, I would say probably Sony Santa Monica would be my mascot.
Ooh,
Those
really?
guys, something that Sony Santa Monica does differently than Naughty Dog is that Santa Monica actually contracts their employees out to other developers. So a lot of their stuff, like a lot of their developers will go over to something like Squeenix, or they'll go over to Crystal Dynamics for a development cycle, and then they'll come back and they'll be able to integrate what they like and what they don't like into their own studios. So it's much more like I hate the buzzword culture, but Sony Santa Monica is more like a hub for creativity, whereas Naughty Dog is,
Close to that.
they're like fine art, like they're museum pieces. Last of Us was actually featured in a museum. That's just how good the game is. But with Naughty Dog, it's like if you give them a blank check, what they're gonna do for you is that they're really gonna push the boundaries of what a game is. So they're gonna push it into interactive media. Whereas Sony Santa Monica is gonna retain the essence of creativity and gaming. I don't want to say this, but like they're games by gamers, whereas Naughty Dog feels more like a technical
Pushing boundaries
showcase,
almost.
right?
Yeah.
Which is something that I really respect Naughty Dog for setting the boundaries or setting the standard higher and higher and higher and higher. But at what point is it too much, or is it just too much goes unnoticed? That you're like, okay, like this is cool that y'all did this, but like at the end of the day, it
Really matter.
does. Yeah, does it really matter that you spent all the extra time? Like let's say you added an extra year's worth of development for this, all the small quirks and knickknacks and hidden stuff that you added into the game. At the end of the day, does it really matter? And that matters to them because that's their like design philosophy. Whereas, like I said, I think Sony Santa Monica is really the one that stands out. Plus, their track record is absolutely fabulous when it comes to Sony branded mascots. Yeah. I think I rank Sony Santa Monica as number
Okay.
one.
Yeah, so moving on here, so we do have also on Thursday as well, we also have the Dying Light 2. They will be doing a gameplay reveal. And so we haven't had any news as of late. Instead of aside from a demo from 2 years ago. And I did recently, watch that again. Watch the demo showcase again. That was like about 30 minutes long. And I really do like what Techland is doing with this game. And the visuals and the new engine it's running in. It looks pretty fantastic. And I really did dig the level design. It looks like there's going to be more parkour elements and many buildings you can jump into. And also, I think that the melee combat is much improved in this game as well. So, are any of you guys hyped for Dying Light 2?
Never played the first one, to be
I
honest.
think that with the controversy surrounding it, I feel like I have lost interest in how long the battle has gone for the developers to regain their autonomy. That at this point, it's gone off my radar.
I never even played the first one to even tell you anything
Wow,
about the
okay.
second. You know what I mean? It's
The
one of
game,
those
the game
things
looks
where it's
pretty
like,
fantastic
Wasn't
on
that a
PC.
zombie game?
Like,
Yeah. So the
you,
original
you really should
developers,
give it a
survival.
try once it goes on sale.
Yeah.
The
so
first
they
one.
originally made Dead Island, and
all right,
the,
okay.
the publisher, I think it's like Deep Silver, the publisher, basically didn't pay the employees. Like they basically were like, "Hey, by the way, you're getting your checks late," and then it's, "Oh, you're gonna get them next month," and then it's, "You're gonna get them next month."
Isn't Deep Silver also created Saints Row series?
Yeah, they
Uh,
they're not they're not a new kid on the block by any means.
yeah.
But they basically did that, and then the developers got upset, and then so the developers stopped working on it. So the smart thing the publisher did was just retain the IP and then fire everybody,
Oh wow.
and did not basically fought it in court and said like everything that y'all made is mine. And so the developers ended up making Techland, and it's been a very, very long fight for them to make Dying Light. Even as the parkour zombies were
So-
attempted to be copyrighted by the Dead Island guys. So this is a lot of the reason why Dying Light 2 has had a really rocky development for the last 6 years now.
So basically, low key, they did a Shoot Knight.
Yeah,
Ah, so-
and I'm rooting for Techland, but at the same time, how long can I wait? So I've lost interest in it. I support them, but I'm like, Dying Light 2, is it ever gonna come out?
Yeah, so I don't know anything about the game to even give my input, to be honest with you. And also, I think I saw the cover of Dying Light 2, and it's one of those things like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm cool.
Okay.
I'm cool.
Yeah, so there are going to be some new tools you can use. There is actually a grappling hook. That's one of the new things. And so you can be like Tarzan. And like you can also use a glider. So that looks pretty interesting.
So basically, Batman meets zombies.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you got a glider,
Yeah,
you got a
I
grappling hook.
I really don't know what to say, man.
And you can do parkour. Like, all right.
And parkour.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge meets Batman.
Yeah. Fuck zombies up at the same time too. Dope.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we're gonna be moving on to our next topic here. So we have a story here up from Riot Games, and so they do have plans of recording Valorant voice chats, and this is to report any toxic behavior. And so we have a statement here from Riot, and so they did say that they are updating its privacy notice to allow it to record and evaluate voice comms when a report for disruptive behavior is submitted in its competitive multiplayer shooter. So Riot insisted it will not actively listen to players, it will only potentially listen and review once voice logs when disruptive voice behavior is reported. Riot also suggested that if players prefer not to have their voice chat captured, they can turn off the voice chat. So, do you guys think this is
Don't voice chat at all.
Yeah. So, do you guys think this is an invasion of privacy, or they have the right to do this recording the voice chat?
I mean,
Riot doesn't owe us anything. Private company does private things.
I was about to say they technically have the right because it's their game. We're stepping into their realm, right? They could monitor and record if they want to. Whether I agree with it, that's another story. Like personally, I'll be real with you. Let's say there's a conversation that goes south. Let's say a little bit of toxicity comes out.
Somebody's
it can happen
drunk,
in a competitive shooter.
Yeah.
It can happen. I'll be real with you. If they have to go into that conversation to assess what was said, they need to listen to the entire match. If they're listening to half an hour of me talking, I don't know if I've said some stuff that I want to keep personal. I don't know if I've said some stuff that might be incriminating by all means, because a lot of people play these games. You get me? So just by hearing that, they can do whatever they want, but you're going to find me on Discord.
Okay. Yeah, so I actually do have a clip. Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, go ahead. I agree. I'm all for this. I've always been for this. Toxicity in video games has just been rampant since Pong. So is there any sort of customer service or customer retention abilities or mechanics that you can implement to combat toxicity other than just mute all chat? Don't be a woman. Are those two things enough? No, they're not. And it sucks that we've come to a point as gamers, a decade ago, very inclusive community. Everybody's just happy to have more gamers, and it's gotten more mainstream. I'm not going to blame mainstream, but as it's become more, accessible, there has been a variety of people that crop up, and obviously this stuff isn't new. It's not like it's just because it hit the mainstream that everybody became toxic, but obviously the player bases have gotten much larger, so percentage wise toxicity has become much more prevalent, just statistically by the numbers. So at what point, and especially Riot, who is
known for having
known for having a toxic community. At what point do they just do they game Newell it and say oh, it's just part of the community? Do you do that? Do Riot Games is oh, the toxicity is just part of League of Legends?
Yeah.
Or do you save face, or do you implement features that allow you to actually care about your customer base? Because regardless if you like Riot Games or not, their customer base they're fanatics. They're loyal. Riot could sell a jar of dirt, and it would, make a lot of money.
True. And not only that, look at it this way. They tried the whole reporting toxic things, reporting abuse and all of these things and everything, and yet still nothing was done about it. So, some people even use that system to falsely accuse somebody or some shit just because they didn't like that person in a game, or just because whatever they were reporting for, let's just say AFK, this kind of things, they still didn't have anything negative. So basically, straight up report him for toxic behavior or abusive behavior, whatever bullshit it was. And some people were using that for their advantage. Right, so
which innately becomes a toxic, it becomes another part of the toxicity where now you're like, hey Joker, I'm gonna report you, and then it just starts tilting people,
Yeah, and not only that, if you look at it in a new player's perspective, right? I remember when I first played League of Legends, I had zero knowledge about this game. I walked in, played my first ever match, right? I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Okay, I didn't know what I was doing because there was so many things that I needed to learn within the game. Even though there was, co-op, AI mode and tutorial and all of this kind of things, there were still other things that I needed to learn, right, in regards to playing a mobile game. And yo, straight up, like, I didn't know, like, there was a team fight because nobody fucking pinged or nothing whatsoever, right?
Yeah, I
And
feel
I'm
that.
sitting there trying to get rid of the Rift Herald and or whatever the other freaking dragon is there, right? And next minute, all I got was on the chat saying, "Report Jerko, report Jerko."
Wow.
Right? Why is he not coming and doing a team fight and he's fighting this other thing over there? I was there like, bro, I am new to the game. What the fuck? I have no idea what the hell is going on. Do you know what I mean? If you would have messaged me saying there's a team fight, come and give us a hand, I would have come and
Yeah, you
given
gotta
you
ping,
a hand.
man.
But
You gotta
if
ping in
nobody,
that case.
yeah, and nobody's doing anything, and I'm just like, okay, there's nothing happening, there's no chat, there's no communication, anything, so I'm just carrying on doing whatever I need to do, right? And also at the same time, I'm trying to keep an eye on my lanes too, so that nobody's fucking trying to flank me, this, that, and everything, so I'm trying to keep an eye on it. But apparently I got reported. So, and you know what? I'm not even salty about it. At that time, I
Yeah.
was salty, but now looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, this is dumbass.
Yeah, I had a similar instance actually. You know, I took a long break from League and I decided to play again. And yeah, I was learning Rengar and like these guys in the chat after the game was finished. You know, I guess I didn't do my job the right way. You know, I was behind, and you know, in the chat they were like, "Oh, bro, you should uninstall the game. Like, what are you doing, man?" Like, you know, like
Jungle difference.
it's just very toxic, the League chat. And so actually, I do have a clip. Actually, there was a viral clip that of Ninja playing Valorant. And this was reported, you know, very early in the year, and you know the media made a huge deal of this. How like you know Ninja was being very toxic to this 17-year-old Valorant player. And so you know, let me share my screen so you guys can listen to this. And let me just okay. Oh, sorry, gotta.
But yeah, man, just the toxic nature thing is just non-stop with any fucking game nowadays. Alright.
All right, let me know when you're good.
Yeah.
What's going on? All right, my bad.
Oh wait, I can't hear nothing.
Oh, make sure that you're sharing. There you go.
Polo, shut up. It's fucking talking to the enemy team.
Cover going out.
I don't give a
Double
fuck.
headshotted.
Well, you're not gonna put a shot up, alright?
Oh my, I can
It's
tell
a
you.
fucking rank map.
Oh my
I don't give a
god.
fuck what your network is. I don't give a fuck
Polo,
who you are.
please.
I'm not gonna tell somebody to shut the fuck
How
up.
about I tell you to shut the fuck up and stop playing this
don't
game because
care.
you are fucking awful
You're
at
talking to a
it.
17-year-old.
I don't
And
care.
you just
I don't
talk to
care if
everybody
you're
like you're a fucking
12.
warlord. I don't give a fuck, bro. Shut the fuck up, man.
Oh my god, dude! How are you still radiant, bro? You're 2 and like you literally bottom frag on right now.
I don't know how I'm still radiant.
Every
I don't
game.
know.
Have a single life worth saving.
Actually,
Jerry.
It's
bro,
pretty
imagine
mild.
thinking you're cool because you fucking think like, oh, I don't care. It's just a ranked match, dude.
It's ranked.
Oh, okay. So how's your how's your pro team doing that? How's your pro team doing that? How you don't so you don't care about ranked and you won't care about pro like professionally competing. So what do you care about?
Holy shit.
What do you care about, bro? Do you take anything serious? Yo, get fucking shit on again, by the
I don't
way.
need to
Hey,
take shit serious, man.
again,
You're just in my
getting
ear
shit
the entire
on
fucking game.
again. One tapped
You're literally
again.
just sitting in my ear all day.
Again, you get fucking
What your fucking
dominated.
team is,
You're
my guy.
awful.
I don't care what your network is.
All right, I'm gonna end it right there. But yeah. So let me go back here.
Oh my god.
Haven't heard
Oh
an
my
exchange like
god.
that since Call of Duty Modern
I
Warfare.
know, bro. That's what I was thinking. Like, it's been a while. It's been a
Yeah.
while.
Yes.
Damn, like that.
I guess it is insensitive to laugh, obviously, because it's happening to somebody else.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
But
But like that.
I do feel where Ninja's coming from when he was talking like shit to the guy, but like to many of us like we thought this was like like basic, but the media played it so that they made it like more toxic than it was, because like
I mean,
he
it's a
wasn't
pretty
using
bad clip.
he wasn't using any
Okay.
racial slurs, he wasn't using any like offensive wording. So I think
Yeah,
this
but
was
for the
pretty
media,
pretty
that's
soft.
a field day.
What
But
he
at
did.
the end of the day, if this is a person that your kids watch and you see
If
this,
he's a role model,
yeah, if
he
he's a
needs
role
to shut
model,
the business.
not looking too hot,
Mhm.
Looking
at the, end
rough.
of the day- at the end of the day, toxicity is toxicity, right? So if this is
Exactly.
a person who is a poster child for Red Bull,
Mhm.
is a poster child for Monster Energy, whatever it may be, uh, he's not looking too hot, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
And of course, the media is going to, you know, take this narrative and just run with it because at the end of the day, like, let's just say you or Windu or Deli's got like a massive followers that's actually sitting there and enjoying their content, watching all of it, and all of a sudden they see this bad behavior in an instant. What's that gonna say to you? Is there like, hey man, Loki is like a different person. He's like a coin, right? When you flip it, he's just a dickhead. But when you turn on the camera, it's just alright. He's a sound guy. But something like this happens on a regular basis. Like, there is no way. Okay, if you look at two sides of the story, right? Okay, I get it. I understand as a gamer, like as a thing. But there is no way for you to talk down on a person. There is no reason for you to talk down on a person in that kind of sense,
I
right?
mean, there was no
Yeah,
And
but if you
de-escalation
think about it,
tactics going
he is
on.
playing a ranked game. So like if you think about
it's
it in that
a
sense,
rank.
I think
Rank.
it's irrelevant. Toxicity is
Yeah,
toxicity. I mean,
yeah.
you definitely see Ninja here as the aggressor. I mean, obviously, it didn't start
It's
to
hard
be
not
like
to.
that. It didn't start to be like that, obviously. But then it escalated
Blew up
to,
on him.
it
Mhm.
escalated, and he continued to escalate it.
Yeah.
And we all get it. We've been in sweaty situations like that before.
Mhm.
We've been in
yeah.
situations where teammates don't listen and it gets the better of us. But when I was playing Paragon professionally, I had always said, we're not going to be toxic. Like, it's very easy to ignore people. It's
Yeah.
very easy to mute. It's very easy to ignore it. So you would think that somebody like Ninja, who has the following that he does, that has the brand sponsorship that he does, is able to just tune into
I
that.
would have been
Like,
above it. Yeah.
hey, you know what? This dude is just getting annoying, so we're just gonna mute him. And I know it sounds like, well, just mute him, just block it. Cyberbullying doesn't exist. Just turn your monitor off, close your eyes. But it really is that simple sometimes.
Yeah, it is. And the best option would have been like, okay, bro, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not gonna engage with you anymore. Even if I have to quit halfway through, just get that penalty, I would do it. Just so I don't have to get my, how do you call it? Get angry even more,
Yeah.
frustrated even more, just by listening to whatever the other guy has to say. Do you know what I mean? End the conversation. Just cut it where the source is, where the beginning of the source, and done. No more.
But if you look at it in the media, right? Like if you are looking at it as somebody from Red Bull or just somebody's parent, right? Your kid watches Ninja. That's all you know. It's like your kid watches some blue-haired kid on the internet, right? And you're watching your news channel one day and it's the reporter comes on and says, "Hey, internet famous or famous celebrity who plays video games has spewed has basically ruined his reputation or has created a bad image," and then they play this clip, and all you're sitting here thinking is, how can somebody get so mad over a video game? It's just a game, bro. It looks terrible, doesn't it? As a parent, it looks terrible. Like, oh,
As a
my kid watching
parent,
somebody like that. or I'm Red Bull sponsors somebody like that, or this guy has his own channel on G4, like this guy, you know what I mean? Like how can somebody be like that, you know? So it definitely is. It definitely is a situation where Ninja, a seasoned gamer, a person who's been in this community a very long time, should have went, you know, should have went above and beyond to be the better
Yeah,
person.
taken a better ground stance and just been like, hey, nah. It's like, for example, like let's just say you get some shit talkers coming in Windows channel. Well, I'm a modernist stream, right? Some guys come in Windows channel, shit talkers, right up. He just times them out, bans them. Because why deal with that hassle when you can just do that, right? So
Yeah, like a lot of people say like, oh, people offend you on the internet, you just block them. Like that's so lame. Like, what is it for then? What is the block button for then?
exactly.
You know, like I don't have to. This is my
Put up with shit.
space, and I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
I'm not gonna let y'all in my own space and do whatever y'all want to do. So, I definitely think that Ninja should have had better mental fortitude when it comes to
Yeah.
this
That just showed
situation.
him. That just showed like an
Argument could
immature
be made that
situation.
yeah, but argument could be made that he probably lashed out like that, maybe trying to even be on the entertainment side because everybody knows that toxicity is found entertaining half the time. But then the issue then becomes his stature
Mm.
doesn't mean that, you know, it's his viewers aren't just gonna, you know, find it funny, not be okay with whatever. It's just that Ninja goes beyond. But if this was a random streamer with only 5 viewers, his 5 people watching might have been like, "LOL, he's popping off."
Get him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the
Exactly.
day, you know, if you enlarge that statistic, if you enlarge that percentage from 5 viewers to 50,000 viewers,
3,000, yeah.
let's say 1%, you know, or let's say 10%, you know, all of a sudden it goes from 5 to 5,000, you know, only 5,000 people find it funny and 4,500 people find it uncomfortable, or 45,000 people find it uncomfortable. It's definitely one of those moments where, you know, you
It's a
have to
big
look
oof.
at it. You have to look at it objectively and say toxicity
Like
is
a
toxicity,
good thing,
regardless if it's funny or not.
good thing he's sponsored by a lot of people, so it doesn't hurt his income. But imagine if he were just sponsored by one dude.
Yeah,
And then
No,
afterwards,
that can still
after
hurt
looking,
his income.
No, it still hurts
yeah,
his
yeah,
income,
I've seen,
regardless.
I've
it hurts his
seen,
income. But
I've seen contracts ended for less, bro.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it's true. But I'm just saying, like, looking at that point of view, I'm just saying if there was a streamer who was only sponsored for like whatever and only one company or whatever it is, and then you got Ninja who's got like multiple sponsors, right? And just by looking at that, if you had to compare it, that one streamer pulls out, that's hurting your income massively, right? So it's just like, bro, if imagine 3 or 4 gets pulled out, like that fucking hurt my soul. I'll be like, yo, bro,
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I mean, like I said,
I mean, it just
you have to look at it objectively. Just because it's funny doesn't mean it's not offensive, or just because it's funny doesn't mean it's not hurtful. You know, it's all subjective. I mean, I obviously laughed at it. I thought it was mild and funny, but
Mhm.
you know, if you look, if I turn that question to you guys, Joker, you're like, it's whatever, who cares? This Modern Warfare was way worse. We had it worse. You know, Windu
Yeah,
could have been
that's
like,
true.
dude, I literally had that experience like 3 hours
2
ago.
days
Now,
ago.
now I'm in a bad mood because
Mhm.
basically I just had to watch somebody harass somebody else, and that was me 3 hours ago. So you know, you really genuinely never know.
Yeah, and
But
I'm just glad that, you know, many of these new multiplayer titles that are coming out, they do have the option to mute the party chat. And like this new game I picked up is called
Mute party, mute game.
yeah, party mute. Yeah. So this new game I picked up is called Hood Outlaws and Legends, and they actually say on the screen right there, like, you know, you have a button to mute the whole party. So that definitely comes, you know, clutch, you know, when people are like harassing,
Yeah,
things
and
like that.
that I come across that on during most of the modern warfare games, right? So it's just like as soon as I hear any voice, I kid you not, like when I first got the game, me and my homie were just sitting on the couch, like he's got a PlayStation, I got a PlayStation, we got two TVs set up right next to each other, right? Because we're sitting in the same room, we're like, yo, we don't need to have fucking comms. Fuck it, we're just here, right? But as soon as we heard somebody on that game open their mouth, or even that breathing, like, right,
Yeah, I definitely hit the
instant,
open mic.
everybody gets muted, regardless of who it is from my friends. Everyone's getting
Yeah,
muted.
yeah,
Like,
I
fuck
do that
it.
too. Like when I play Call of Duty, that I mute everybody regardless of I load into the lobby, muted, everybody muted.
Mute,
I because it's genuinely that easy to avoid
Mhm.
negativity. It's
Exactly.
just people like to feed into it. People like to
And
entertain
and
it.
and I'm having fun at the same time without listening to some dickhead ranting about what
Or
are you
eating,
doing? Why are you not? Yeah,
just
exactly. Or even
hot
just
micing.
it's like, oh my god, like bro, you do know you can move your mic further away from your fucking mouth while you're breathing, I don't need to hear you puffing and puffing. Like, damn, bro. I get it,
Yeah.
but you can have your own little, like, PlayStation allows you to have your own party chat. So
Yeah.
if you want to talk to your friends, just have them in there. But you don't. It's whatever. If you want to meet new friends, fair dues. But I'm muting all of you. I don't care if you're not in my party chat. I'm muting every motherfucker.
Yep,
But
I agree.
Yeah, so back to this Valorant topic about how Riot is planning to avoid trying to ban toxicity. So it looks like the community is for this initiative. They are very positive towards what Riot is doing. And one person made a good comment that in regards to Fortnite, if my kid was playing the game, what would I expect them to hear, and what would I want them to be protected against? So it's
most of the time,
A raw
you'll hear on
porno.
Fortnite. Most of the time you hear on Fortnite is that's all you're gonna hear, bro.
Yeah, but the internet being one of those arguably incredibly hard to guard sort of areas, right? As far as like voice chat specifically. Like I just feel like, as a parent, what I would want is not even close to realistic as what the internet society and life is. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
as a parent, I would never want somebody to curse at my kid. But I know
Oh,
for a fact if little Jimmy decides to play some league, my boy better be on point or he's gonna get cursed that quick.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's facts.
True.
Yeah.
Because that's
True.
just the nature of online society. Not that it's right, but it's all I feel like instead of like trying to prevent it by scaring people that you're monitoring them, right? Or that you're recording them. I feel like, for example, like we talked about the whole giving you accessibility and options to only mute certain people, not mute others, etc. Everybody in your party could talk. Everybody that's not in your party is irrelevant because, quite frankly, those are randoms. Or if you want to engage into that conversation, you already know what you're getting into. You chose to listen to those individuals. So
Yeah, true.
I feel like giving those options, and Valorant already does that. Valorant already has party chat and team chat.
Yeah, I mute all
I-
chat. I don't even attempt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, same. And if they're not in my party, low key, hey man, I'm gonna type on the screen. If I'm dead, hey, watch A, 2 coming to A, etc. I'll just type it. I have no interest in hearing the voice of any other individual that's not in my voice chat.
Yeah,
Low buzz.
I agree. But just having the options doesn't mean people will take them. Like I said, there will be people who, like Ninja, want to entertain conflict. And I mean, that's just the nature of online society because it definitely helps to dehumanize people when they're just letters and numbers on a screen, right? Like obviously, if I've never met Windu before and he is just hot dog water in my MOBA team, I might just say something to him. But that's just because he's just a name on my screen. And then when the game ends, I don't ever there are zero consequences. I don't ever speak to him again. I've never see his name again. He's not a person. He's just some dude, you know. And like I said, the internet and social media and games, just everything about the internet has made it so that it's, has become so
Norm.
normal, like, oh, that's not a person.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that the community is for Wired here, and they are planning to stop the toxicity, and it's definitely a good look for Wired Games. And so moving on here, so we'll be talking about our last topic here. And so there is a very peculiar meta going on Twitch, or should I say very promiscuous meta going on Twitch, and this is so-called the hot tub meta. And so eagles have started, or eagles or thoughts, or however you want to call them, have started buying kiddie pools and placing them in their rooms to do hot tub streams. And apparently this allows them to bypass the Twitch terms of service to stream in a bikini without breaking the rules and regulations. So I gotta ask you guys, like, is this the right platform for this kind of thing, or why is Twitch allowing this being shown on their platform?
I think they're gonna allow it because their rules say that they allow it. As long as within context, they can't do anything about it, and nobody can force them to do anything about it.
Change TOS overnight, it's not going to be a good look.
Yeah.
So.
No, not at all. It's going to almost look like they're targeting these female individuals that are doing that, and be like, "Hey, what do you mean? We were following by your rules. Now you're targeting us." So they're in a very, very tricky spot.
Yeah.
The best argument. Oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, imagine Windu goes live and in his kiddie pool wearing a bikini, and he's getting a lot of money really, really quickly, and then his stream gets banned, and then an hour later, a news article that comes out that says that Twitch and parent company Amazon has resorted to sexist behavior.
Yep.
Not looking so hot.
They got something against the beard, bro. That's it. They saw beard with the kiddie pool, and they got an issue.
They saw brown skin. They saw
straight
brown
up,
skin, and they were like, "No minority,
no island,
no minorities in my company."
Damn.
Now, I'll say this though, my worry, because being involved in the Twitch ecosphere, my main worry isn't what's currently going on, because what's currently going on, the hot tub meta and everything, again, you can't really do anything about it because it's in the rules, right? And Twitch really borders on, well, it's situational. A lot of their rules have a lot of gray areas. My main concern is what's going to happen to Twitch as a platform as soon as a random 15-year-old decides to do the exact same thing as these grown-ass 30-year-old women, and the 15-year-old says, "I can do it. It's in Twitch's rules."
Yes, it's a very good.
That's when shit gets real, because at that point, it's not even like, oh, you know what? These are just women trying to earn their money. That's a 15-year-old that's going to be in a bikini in a kiddie pool with a whole bunch of grown ass men staring, and then people are going to look at Twitch and be like, "Oh, so this is okay?" And technically,
that's problem, man. That's crazy.
And then technically, at that point, it's like, hey, low key, it's within Twitch guidelines. It is within Twitch guidelines. Like, it's one of those scenarios that until it goes too far, they can't really do anything about it. That's really
a good point, man. The underage thing, and
that's just one of
another problem I have with this. Would you
classify it as pornographic at that point? It is a bikini. It's not like it's. I mean, obviously, as grown men, we understand the nuances in that situation, but in the court of law, in textbooks, a bikini is allowed in a public space, whereas lingerie is not, regardless of age.
But that's wherever appropriate, So, if you're in a beach, like obviously, but this
So
is
this
so-
comes
and
under
this is
moral-
why
and
this
if
is
they're
why
in a
they
kiddie
started
pool,
this whole
The
meta
context is
because
there.
contextually, it would
because
hold
they're in
in the court of law.
a kiddie pool. That's where the context is, and that's where it's allowed. Under those guidelines.
So here's where I think Amazon would heavy step in on Twitch.
Oh, Amazon would
Because
have to.
because under context, it is 100% allowed via terms of service, right?
Yes.
But under morality,
Moral ability, yeah.
the
Yeah, of course.
entire world would eat Amazon up for allowing it.
Yep.
But because it's on grown women, hey, let them do what they want to do. They're not breaking any rules, which is fine.
And and I had tweeted out that there is technically a mature audience filter that blocks everything until you press yes, which basically
Yes.
does the same exact thing as the "Are you 18" checkbox in every porn
Correct.
site ever.
Yeah. So like on my
That's
on
what you're.
when I
But
Like-
Twitch can't. But Twitch can also say like, "Hey, y'all click past it." Like
Mhm.
they obviously this stuff is implemented so that they, are covering their own behind. So
Yeah, but my fear is that in 2021 specifically, ruining a brand or an image of whether it be the website, whether it be the streamers associated with, a reputation can be tarnished so much easier nowadays.
oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
not
Oh,
even, and it's not even just that it can be tarnished, it's just the consequences from that. So let's say there is some sort of scandal. Let's say Twitch has to deal with, litigation. Let's say they have to deal with all the bad PR coming out of it and everything. Is it something that Twitch, which is predominantly known as a gaming streaming platform, even though it's not anymore, that's still what they're known for. Is it something that they could survive?
Oh yeah, they can definitely do it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Amazon is by no means a small
Well,
company at all.
monetarily, yeah, but
Twitch will. It doesn't matter. They're the leading
It-
platform. They're not going to go away overnight. They can survive, and they have survived controversy after controversy. And until something goes too far, that's when they go, "Hey, time to edit the TOS," and then they look like the good guys for stepping in, banning the streamer, and cutting it off before it gets
I think
exposed or exploited.
rampant.
I think it happened recently. I don't know what's this guy's name. Shit. But this guy was just being toxic, and straight up, all of a sudden, the stream just dies and says banned, right?
Mm.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the guy's name. And fuck, I just saw a recent YouTube video on it too,
many.
like just to keep up on the news. But yeah, it happened because the guy was just contradicting a lot of statements, right? And he was supposed to be a Twitch partner too.
Yeah.
And he was legit asking people to be like, why are you guys not donating? My donation has not gone up to 100 yet, and I need to have 100 by the end of the stream. And this motherfucker streams twice, right? And he expects to get like $200 donated to him for streaming. And then afterwards, when you calculate that for $200 per day, times that by 365 days, it comes up to almost around 200 to 300K. Like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, with this kind of shit. And then afterwards, because of that came across as toxic behavior and everything like that, Twitch immediately pulled his channel. Like, said, okay, we are refunding everyone's subscription, and we're we're refunding all the donation that you have done, and we stop giving ad revenues to this guy too.
Mhm.
And it was immediately done without any warning. They just didn't give him even a little email saying that, heads up, this is coming your way. No, just done on the spot instantly.
I'm not against that.
Yeah, I'm not
You know
against
what I
it.
mean?
I mean, we're on their platform. We are their customers, essentially. Regardless that, yeah, we may make money, but predominantly we are making Twitch and Amazon money at our own
Exactly.
expense. So
Mhm.
the
And-
hot tub
and it's-
thing,
Yeah.
I don't personally. I don't care.
Brings
I
in money.
genuinely don't care, and I don't even want to play up the argument. I'm like, these women are stealing my viewers. Like, they weren't gonna come to my channel anyway.
Hey, they're doing that hustle. They're doing the grind. Everyone's grinding.
Yeah,
At the end of
respect
the
that,
day,
but,
it's
yeah.
like
I just mind my own business. It's not even about
Exactly,
respecting
it's
the
like-
Bro,
hustle.
could you imagine being in an inflatable hot tub for 6 hours? Holy
That's
pruny,
crazy.
wrinkly feet.
exactly, bro.
Hey,
That's what
bro.
Like, these girls be
you
doing
do
this
your
stream
thing.
for
I am a
like
brown
3+
raisin.
hours. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
You're a brown raisin. Shriveled
Yeah,
up raisin.
I don't even. I genuinely don't even know what I would do in a kiddie pool for 3 hours. But I'm sure if I
Right.
made
Right?
if I made like $6,000 in a day doing that, I probably would do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. I just ordered like 37 floaties off of Amazon. They should be here by
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, new floaties every day, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah. I got a floaty
Bro,
for
I
each
would-
day of the month and then special ones for holidays. Say less.
Yep.
That's it.
Say no more. Man will eventually end up buying a mankini too.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Oh,
so actually, I wanted to get into this topic here. So popular hot tub streamer Amouant, she recently did find out in her in her Twitch analytics that Twitch took away the ads without any prior warning, and so she was really tilted about that, and she did speak out on Twitter, and so she was saying that Twitch didn't reach out to me in any way whatsoever, and without prior warning, all the ad revenue had disappeared from my channel. And she also claimed that she used to make $1,000 a day off of ads alone. But good thing that she has other sources of revenue, like her OnlyFans are popping off, and like she gets like 20K subs per month. So in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a big deal. But I think she's trying to make a statement to other hot tub streamers, like to other meta streamers out there, that if you're gonna be doing this, you're not gonna be getting ad revenue when you're doing this. So
Here's the thing on it. Like Amaranth is known for having a very good follower base and all of this kind of thing. So she was like the poster child for Twitch when it comes to like girl gamer kind of a situation going on with all of the shit, right? So she's like recommended channels. She would just get put out there if you have like similar things that you have been watching or whatever it is. Her name would just pop up in your recommendation channel, right? So doing all of this, like, yeah, of course she's annoyed by the fact, but again, it's Twitch that has to be doing something about it. Like, she's doing fine, everything what's possible. Like, she's following the Twitch's terms of service, right? And at the end of the day, I can understand why she got a bit tilted, but at the same time, she can't just go around and say that, oh, this is like a scare tactic, like she's trying to do. But Twitch in his own right has got their platform.
I mean, she knows that she was operating in gray area. It wasn't like she's a by the book streamer and she just got the plug pulled one day because she said the F word or something.
But here's the thing. What you don't realize is I can understand why Twitch pulled off the ad revenue, because if you click on her fucking profile, you will actually see the OnlyFans site listed over there. Right? You got an actual OnlyFans site link in About Me section, right, of her. So when you're promoting a competitor or whatever it is, like another thing where
I
you
like
can
how
make
you call it. I like how you called it a competitor because honestly,
it's very true.
I think that OnlyFans gets a really bad rap for being mostly pornographic. Associated with that kind of connotation.
There are some
that
people
it's
who
only porn.
who
Like
do
my
some interesting-
OnlyFans, like my OnlyFans is
even
just me
non-porn
eating
related
soup
stuff too.
and crying. And if you want to subscribe to that for $10 a month, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to, choose my soup.
So when you're promoting like a competitor like that on your own Twitch channel, like that, saying that click over here so you can get exclusive content to whatever I post every
Twitch
day
as your advertising
exactly.
system. That's
so
I see that.
So I can understand why Twitch decided to say like, you know what, bitch, fuck you. Like they are using my platform to get revenue from a different platform. Get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna pull your freaking ad revenue instantly.
Mhm.
Do you know what
I
I mean?
think the pull
Because
on the ad revenue was to protect themselves, their relationship with the brands that they've already built.
Yeah, because
Because
if Rice Krispie sees this, they're
that
not
they're
gonna be too
advertising
happy.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the issues too is, unlike YouTube, Twitch doesn't have any proper filtration system where like, you know, like people that are buying these ads on YouTube, you could be like, hey, this is the target demographic I want to go for. I want to go for people that like MOBAs. I want to go from 18 to 24. These are where my ads are pushing. On Twitch, it's just ads are ads.
Mhm.
We're just gonna play them.
they're just on everybody's channel. Like Twitch
They're
can
on
yeah.
everybody's channel.
Twitch can guarantee you, hey, you know, this ad's gonna reach 1 million people, and Windu happens to be one of those 1 million people that ad is playing. And if he's ripping
It
the
reached
fattest
somebody.
joint,
Mm.
like I said, Rice Krispies aren't gonna be too happy about that.
That's true.
100%. And that's what it really comes down to. It's just them covering their own ass without doing anything about the hot tub situation. That's essentially what that is.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, so my whole spiel of this whole situation is that why is Twitch allowing this, and why are they allowing these eagles for easy exposure to, because like once these streams they do get trending, it makes them much more easier for discoverability and growth of their own channel, and that
Money.
allows them to advertise their OnlyFans and things like that.
Money.
And
Money.
so we also have a new thing here where Twitch actually is creating a new category of the pools, hot tubs, and beaches category. And they also mentioned that in terms of their Twitch policy, while we have guidelines about sexually suggestive content, being found to be sexy by others is not against our rules, and Twitch will not take enforcement action against women or anyone on our service for their perceived attractiveness. And
Which is just PR speak for hot girl is hot, can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
I
thing is,
mean,
like, I do get that, like people like watching attractive people, but is this content really necessary, like, to be on the platform? Like,
I mean,
it's
how would
not-
you feel if Twitch emailed you and said, "Hey, put a hoodie on," in the privacy of your own home?
I'll be real with you. If there's an issue, I'd be like, all right, explain to me why.
Yeah.
Low key, feel me? And then I could easily see it too. Like, it's like, hey man, put a hoodie on, you showing too much shoulder. And be like, hey, well, like
Hey,
I
man.
feel like I'm being discriminated against. I totally get it. I get it by all means. I find it more interesting the situation that Twitch has gotten themselves into. Trying to alleviate, trying to find all these other things, trying to, like, please all crowd, because low key, this is a huge source of revenue for Twitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say
If I were Twitch, I low key would not want this to go away.
the e-girl meta that is going on right now, like, why wouldn't you cater to
So
that,
much
right?
money.
If you know Amaranth currently has 1 million, an outreach of 1 million, and she trends for sitting in a hot tub and reading tarot cards on the internet, on YouTube, on Twitter, and then her outreach becomes 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, and you make a penny off an ad, yeah, Twitch is eating that up. Why wouldn't you promote them? Why wouldn't you protect them? Why wouldn't you put on a front that says, like, yeah, we don't discriminate against women, comma, or anyone else on our service for their perceived attractiveness? Yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if somebody's hot, that's your problem, But they're not gonna get rid of this. They're not gonna get rid of it.
I don't see it going away anytime soon. In fact, what they will do is they'll probably find a new category, right, that they can actually use that, and it's gonna again go in the fine gray line of where you're going to be operating, right? And a whole new drama will kick off again, because this is again Twitch. drama happens pretty much every fucking month, regardless of what happens. It's like fucking worse than telenovela. Right? Like, bro, shit. This happened? Oh, damn, this happened.
I don't know. I mind my own business. I don't understand why the hot tub thing has become as big as it is. You know,
It's
is
because-
nobody's
No, it's
forcing-
because
nobody's
it's because
forcing it.
it's because the Twitch is a primarily like it's a male dominated
Yeah, but I'll
viewership,
tell you-
right? So that's why
No, no, no,
taking
no.
advantage
Then
of like
then blame the
demographic.
community. Okay, so
Yeah,
blame
yeah,
the community. If I'm giving you money, you know, are you gonna be happy when people try to cancel you because you're accepting the money that I'm giving you? Like,
Exactly.
just blame the community. It is not a woman's fault for taking advantage of her what's it
System.
called? Her viewer base. You know, if her viewer base wants to give her $40 fucking for I don't know,
For
getting up.
looking good.
Yeah, for walking, like getting up
By
and doing
lifting up
jumping
your
jacks.
pinky, bro.
Yeah, like hey, I'll give you $40 to do 10 jumping jacks just so I can see your boobs jiggle. Like, okay, and
Yeah, that's true. Like if Deli, if they did the same thing to Deli, for example, it's like, hey, $40 just to watch you do push-ups in a corner. Be like, bro, you're gonna see me
Bro.
looking like Arnold by the end of the
bro,
year.
I finna be jacked.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like you'd be like, yo, $40. Like at this point, bro, after a month, be like, watch what I can do with one hand.
Yo, that is the
Like,
easiest
shit.
thing I've ever made, and you only
And then
I'll
slowly
start
start doing
in
it
this
on
bitch,
you're only asking
Right.
for 10 push-ups, and you're gonna
Bro,
give
I'll
me
do-
$40 untaxed.
right?
Yeah, fork it over,
Yo,
buddy.
make it 50. We'll do handstands. Where you at?
Yeah,
Handstand push-ups.
Make it 60, and I'll take my shirt off.
Bro. Like you bring up a great point because it's arguably the fact that it's based off of the fan base, right?
Mm.
The
Yeah.
culture generated. So then at that point, could Twitch also be directed at to be like, hey, why isn't this controlled on a chat level more?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not Amran's fault for turning the camera on and sitting in a hot tub. Like, we all know, you as a streamer know, just because you turn your camera on doesn't mean a million people are gonna come in. You know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's
That's true.
definitely hard
I
to
sat-
build a
I
community.
sat there
and,
with,
like,
with one viewer, fam. I sat there with one viewer, and this guy, look, he was just chatting away because he enjoyed watching me playing FIFA.
yeah.
So
Yeah, so I don't fault them for doing that. It's I do respect the hustle and the and like you said, it is hard to build a community, and you have to respect that they built such a good community, and even though that they've been somewhat borderline on the Twitch terms of service every now and then, it's you have to respect the hustle, so.
in the fine print, Twitch has done a lot of CYA work in order to make sure that they're good on all fronts.
Like-
At the end of the day, why are you blaming kids for looking at this stuff? A teenager's bro. You can't tell a teenager no.
They've looked at worse.
They will
We
find
were-
something, bro. They will
They've
find
looked
something.
at worse than a girl doing a jump
they're-
jack. I'm gonna be
If
honest
they're not gonna do it in their home, they're gonna do it in somebody else's home.
And if
So-
not, they'll probably do it in the fucking toilet too. Just sit there and put the phone up
Yeah.
like, yeah, bro.
So I
But
just
you cut off the
you know,
Wi-Fi. Homie's gonna have a magazine.
Yeah, and Twitch
Exactly.
Twitch is gonna be like, do I have to
Like,
parent your kids too? No, they're not gonna do that.
And it's just again monitoring, like again earlier point, monitoring the kids, like when you said
Yeah.
about even the whole voice chat thing, and at the same time, it's like what can you do? Like,
Yeah.
okay, there are
I
some
think
the
Twitch
whole
should be just
whole
more focused on their brand image.
Yeah,
The
The
fact
fact that they
it's a
used to
complex
be
issue.
gaming. Yeah, they used to be gaming streaming. Now they've expanded to all types of streaming. You feel me? You could literally just stream yourself just talking to individuals for hours. So it's just how much are they willing to let that line get pushed towards the edge? That's literally getting to like borderline softcore, but it's like, hey, nothing's going on. Stream's a stream. We're making money. You feel me?
Yeah, it just
I just think how far away are they willing to go before they step in?
Like, I can see the
until they
whole
start
point-
losing money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
can
it.
see the
That's
whole
literally it.
point. I can see why this whole entire thing blew out of proportion and everything like that, because there are some people out there low key jealous of the fact that most of these people are just pulling on their viewers and just, gaining income from this. And shit's been like this. Like, there's a lot of people who've been hating. Envy is the fucking biggest thing, bro. And you got other girls out there who don't like the fact that, these girls are making money and representing them in this kind of thing. No, they're just doing their job. They're just earning their paycheck. And that's the whole reason why I can see this light was brought up on this hot tub streamer kind of thing. And yeah, it's
I mean,
just.
it's a complex, layered problem. It's not like one solution is gonna fix it all. Like, it's not like if Twitch just said, "Hey, no more e-girls," and you know what I mean. Like, that's what I said earlier. It's just like, turn off your monitor. Like, don't subject yourself to cyberbullying. And then number 2 would be just don't be a woman. Is that enough? I mean, women have been hit on for less. Wearing a hoodie and glasses. It's like, oh, you're so hot. And it's just like, bro, it's like, at what point do you expect Twitch to just come in and say, like, hey, this is a dude only website, and then
No
and then
way
it would
they're
just
gonna
end
do
up
that.
it wouldn't go well.
I just
So
think that the same way that they try to cover themselves as far as individuals putting notifications on screen, right? Whether it be like, hey, we're very strict about, sexual talk, we're very strict about racial slurs being said out loud or anything like that, redistributed, whatever. Like they have a very strict policy about that, but then their chat is no holds, right? And eventually they made it to where the streamer can control, the leniency of their own chat,
yeah, my chat is
promoting a toxic.
unfiltered.
That's
Like,
what I'm
it's
saying,
unfiltered.
promoting either unfiltered environment or a filtered environment. And I can tell you, somebody that low key, I just have zero tolerance for a whole bunch of shit. Like my chat, literally, I have every single filter maxed out. Like if you come to my chat and try to be toxic, if you can get away with it, I'm like, I'm low key impressed that your best insult was calling me a poo poo head. Low key, you feel me? So I'm like, whatever. Like I even make a joke out of it. Like if you can try and be toxic, go for it. Anything that gets by the bot, I'm impressed, low key. But is it to the point that in certain areas, for example, the harassment and stuff like that, like should that even be an option? Why don't they try and promote a healthier environment for everybody? Like harassment and racial slurs, why not just automatically, hey, you know what? We're gonna cut that shit out. Like hell, you can curse all you want, you can do whatever you want, but like her, like in it's situations like that, like bullying terms, what like that's one of the categories. Harassment, racial slurs is a category, derogatory terms, etc. Just terms that are normally used as derogatory terms, right? Why leave that to an option if you're trying to not only grow your business but promote a healthy environment for people to want to stream? Because a lot of female streamers actually get harassed more than they actually get praised.
Yeah.
So like, why even give the option? You feel me? Maybe because they don't want to seem tyrant. Who knows?
Well, like I said, Twitch has done a lot of CYA work. Like, oh, we gave them the options. We gave Windu the options. It's his fault that he got called a racial slur because he didn't turn them on. My bad, dog. At the end of the day, can you really be upset with Twitch? I mean, you could feel some type of way, but like
Yeah, if they're covering their own ass, there's nothing. Like, hey,
you literally can't do anything.
yeah.
All right,
I know
so
that's not what anybody wants to hear, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
all right, so it's definitely a great discussion, and it is getting a little bit late here, so it's time to wrap it up. And so we're gonna be going with our outros, and we're gonna start with Deli, Agent Deli.
I don't really have an outro, but thank you for having me on again. It's always nice to see and be a part of this panel. Joker, Windu, Krow, thank you guys for entertaining me and hanging out with me. So I will see you guys in the next episode.
All right,
Sure.
that sounds good. And we'll be going with the Joker Gamer V3.
Yo, I appreciate you calling me back on this panel, bro. Every time, it's a pleasure talking to Deli, Windu, you as usual. You know, I have a good time over here. But yeah, apart from that, thank you. Probably see you next time too.
All right, sounds good. And yeah, thank you, Windu, for showing up again. You know, it's definitely appreciated. And you want to go with the outro?
For showing up. Because I did miss last one, low key. I kind of feel bad about that. Like whenever
You should, as you should.
bro. Whenever I got that hit, like, just like quick little reminders, like, hey, you still down for 6:30? I was like, oh, I'm in the middle of something. I feel bad. So I mean, I appreciate getting the invite,
I
even though I
appreciate the
wasn't
support,
here.
man. You know, you guys are very, you know, as I said, you know, at the end of the third episode, man, like I'm blessed to have met such awesome guys, and you know, I really do respect you guys, you know, for coming out and
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean,
being on the
don't
show
get me
here.
wrong. Like
Believe it.
6:30, I feel you, Windu, because I had like got off work way too late. And then I still have to go to the grocery store. I still have errands to run. I still have things to do. Bro, I haven't even eaten yet. This burger's still in its wrapper.
Ooh.
But
Bro,
I was
you saw
like,
how many Slim Jims I ate?
yeah, I
In
know,
our little
right?
conversation, bro.
But I was like, you know what?
I
I did tell Crow that I'm gonna be here at 6:30, so I'm gonna
Right.
pull up.
I gotta go to work in next 2 hours, bro.
Oh,
Damn.
It's almost 4 o'clock. Well, it's
Dude, I
almost 2:30
forgot.
in the
He's a
morning.
you.
yeah, I've been up
Yeah.
since 4 in the morning, so like I'm dying right now.
Yeah. And I gotta go to work in 2 hours, and I
Yo,
haven't
I
slept
feel
at all.
bad for you, big dog.
No, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Yikes.
Yeah, I really
I'm not
appreciate you
bothered.
guys' commitments, and yeah, you know, yeah, if you guys are on Twitter, you can follow me at the Theslykrow. And you know, we are planning to do a bi-weekly podcast, so if you do enjoy the show, I do, you know, appreciate if you can hit the like and subscribe. And if you can please share the podcast out on Twitter, I would definitely appreciate that. And so this is your boy Krow signing off, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.